Good morning, everybody. This is Marius Landman from Australia. Can everybody hear me? Just show your hands. Thumbs up, Tertius.
Good morning,
Joe,
Marius.
yeah, I see your thumb there, Joe. See you, Graham. Yeah, Tertius, I can hear you. Awesome.
Fantastic.
Yeah, awesome, guys. Yeah, what a great time in the world, to be alive. And we have to remember that for us being in cryptos is such a great opportunity. And guys, it may not look like it is a great opportunity now, but I tell you what, just be patient for a few more weeks. And I'm saying weeks, not days, weeks, because things are rapidly going to change in the crypto world. And today I'm going to bring you some new data from what we discovered. And everything is on track. It's just a little bit slow at the moment, sideways, or it may feel like it's slow. And yeah, Tertius, welcome back also. We missed you last week. It's great to have you back, man.
Thanks very much, Marius. Appreciate it. Looking forward to this evening.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's get into things here. Let me just share my screen here. Okay, the first thing that I really want to start off here with is the Wall Street cheat sheet. Go to Google, type that into Google, Wall Street cheat sheet, download yourself this copy. Very important, guys, that we actually have a look at this data. What I want to bring your attention here is to the left-hand side of this screen here. I believe that we are somewhere here. Now, remember this, the Wall Street cheat sheet is the psychology of a market cycle. If you go and have a look at gold at the moment, the chart of gold over the last 10 or 12 years, you're going to find the same exact pattern. If you look at silver, you find the same exact pattern. You look at Bitcoin and you find more or less the same pattern. You find that in Apple, Microsoft, and a whole bunch of other cryptos. Coins, I mean stocks in the world stock markets, as well as certain cryptocurrencies. Now, what happens here right on the top here? Imagine that now being, and we've gone through that again, guys, in the previous webinar, but for all the new people that are here, let me just go through this again. Regard that there, euphoria, as the top for Bitcoin at 19,666. And remember that Bitcoin dropped from 19,000 back to about 11. And most of us that were subscribers at that time, we bought back here on the bottom. Remember that call that we made on that high, and we said that we are going to sell at 19,500? And then we came right down here at the bottom, and we told our investors and subscribers to buy at 11,000. We rode the market up to 17,000 again, and we sold again. And we've done that in 2018, and using the Wall Street cheat sheet as a guide as well. So what I'm saying, guys, is use this data. It's more or less, the pattern is more or less correct. Thank you, Wendy. Just getting a nice cup of coffee. I hope you guys have got some coffee there, unless it's too late for you guys, Tertius. Okay, guys, now let's quickly have a look here. Remember the complacency here at 17,000. Who was there at that time? Who kept their money in the market? You kept your money in the market fell, you got anxiety. Now, after that, when the market fell, most of us got into denial, and we said to ourselves, the market's going to come back and all is good, and the media will tell you everything is fine, invest more, and I'm a hodler. Remember all that? And then suddenly we got into panic, and the market fell and fell and fell, and right here at the bottom here, can you remember? And for a reason, this whole area is marked red. The reason is because remember on social media how angry people got. The trolls were trolling me, they were calling me all sorts of names, and possibly you as well. because people got angry. This is the psychology of people. Remember this, guys, psychology of people. And I want you, and the reason I'm showing you this is because you need to get ready for what could potentially come next. Because if you are mentally strong, you will beat the market. Now, out of depression year, regard that as 15 December 2018. Tertius, can you see my screen? Some people say they can't.
No, we can see the screen. I see it very well. We are coming through
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. So guys, if you can't see the screen, maybe just exit and then re-enter and come back in again. So
Yep.
from that bottom there, let me show you where that bottom is. I'm going to show you 2 points. I'm going to show you this, the 20,000 high, and I'm going to show you the low point here on the bottom of 15 December 2018. So let's just quickly go to a chart here. Let me minimize that. For that, I actually need to go here. There we go. This point here is that chart. Let me squeeze this chart up. Can you see what I mean? That we are, there's euphoria right at the top. There's that drop that I was talking about, where we came back in and we bought, I think, here at about 11,000, and we rode the market up again. And since then, up, down, and see that big drop here, right down to the bottom. There is your 15 December 2018 low point, right there at the bottom. And there is your 15 December 2017 high point. So just to reiterate, there's the high point. And to reiterate again, here is the low point here on the bottom. Now let's go back to that picture and I'll show you where that is again. Now, see here, there is 20,000. There right at the top, and there's the low point of 15 December 2018. I want people to really understand this. If you don't, go back to the video. We will record it and put it back in the back office. Since then, the market went upwards, sideways, upwards, right into this level here of 12, 13, or $14,000, right there. Let me show you where that high point is. That high point here, there we go, guys. Right there at that point there, 13.7, what was that? The high point, 13.6, 13.6, 13.7. That's the high point. Now let's go back and have a look more or less now. Remember, we can't rely on the Wall Street cheat sheet as the be-all, but it will give you a guide. It will put your mind at ease. It will tell you that what you are doing is good, and it will show you that what is coming next is going to put so much money in your pocket. It's not the time that you want to get out of the market. It's the time that you want to be in the market. Now remember this, that is the high point. And what is Bitcoin doing now? Bitcoin is dropping. Now, let's go to the left-hand side of the chart now. Remember, we've got disbelief here. We go to the left-hand side here, where it says hope and disbelief. So the market has now come all the way to this high point here. It's dropped slightly. It's gone up. And I believe that we are somewhere here, broadly speaking now. I wish I could draw on this to show you, but if you take the circle of the mouse, we're somewhere there. Now, the same as what we had a down point there. Look at that little drop there of 15 December 2018. See this long drop here, that long drop. I want to focus on that long drop. And okay, I shouldn't say long drop because in the UK people resemble long drop as a long drop. You know, it's a toilet. so let's just say it's a longer drop downwards. And I think in South Africa too, people, Tertius, people in South Africa regard a long drop as a, okay, well, guys, let's maybe call it a long drop because people will be in the poo. You know, it's crazy what's going to happen here if this happens. Now, after this, what happens here? After we have a big downtrend here, right there, people could go in disbelief. Disbelief meaning that this rally will fail like all the others. Guys, what are you seeing on social media today? Social media is dead. People are, they in denial. Some are in panic because their cryptos are disappearing in value. The money is disappearing, so people are getting nervous. Now, this is one of the reasons, guys, why we said the top 5 cryptos, you need to convert into the top 5 cryptos. And we've been saying that now for about a month and a half. Get into Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, the top coins. You're going to find that a lot of the other coins have diminished in value. You've seen the top 40 crypto report that we released about 3 or 4 days ago. If you haven't seen it yet, go and study that. However, there's big opportunities coming, but there's also some downside, potential downside. Now, look what happens next. This is the good news. You're on the edge of breaking through to this level here. That level there, which is going to be $20,000. Then we're going to go up to $22,000 there. Then we head up to $35,000 there. And see these drops here? Those drops are big drops. And, so once we get to 35,000, the market's going to take off. Optimism, belief, thrill, and thrill, the media is going to come again and say, whoa, Bitcoin is over $100,000, and they're going to recommend and tell the whole world to buy. But guys, that's not what we're going to do. When we get to these levels here, and I'll warn you at that time where all these levels are. It doesn't work exactly like this pattern, but I'm just giving you the psychology of a market cycle to tell you that there's hope. It's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. Optimism is coming. You're going to get belief. You're going to go through all these stages because you will see it on social media. Let's have a look on the bottom where we are. What are you seeing on social media today? Whether it's Facebook or Twitter. You see that people, and even on YouTube, people are in disbelief, really. They can't understand why the market is not moving. The market keeps going sideways. But we're going to have this again. Hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. At euphoria, we are going to sell and get you out of the market. What happens then? The cycle starts all over again to some form. Complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, anger, depression. So we're going to go back into those stages again. Now look at what is in front of you. Can you see how long it takes to go from euphoria right down to disbelief at that point? It's months and months and months, but look how short the uptrend is. That uptrend could be 6 months, 9 months, maybe 1 year. But what's coming is something really good. Now let's get into the charts here. Now today I'm going to release some data that is very important that we understand this. Now remember guys, our algorithm data is based on probabilities. There's a probability in our data. It kicks out 36 probabilities. If I push the button and I say to my algorithm data, based on today's data at 7 o'clock in the morning, AM, Australian time, 26 July, which is Friday, we're about a day ahead of the rest of the world. So for those people who want to make deals with me, remember, we get the data first. So we're way ahead of the world, okay? So if you way back in America, you just call me and I'll be able to tell you where Bitcoin will go. We can make some big money here. No, guys, this is serious. There's a guy from Cape Town, Tertius. He called me and he said, Marius, I want to make big business with you. And he emailed me 7, 8, 9 times. And I decided, listen, I need to talk to this guy. So I asked him, what is his mobile number? Can he call me? And eventually I called him. He said, he wanted to make big business. And he said to me, listen, I figured this out. I figured out how Bitcoin works and how you make so much money. I said, how do I do it? He said, you wake up first in the morning, so you get the data first. How about when you get the data, you call me because I'm in South Africa. And then I will know what the market will do. So then I'll invest the money and we take the profits then by the end of that day. Guys, it doesn't work like that. I know there are people, just understand, everybody gets the data at the same time. It doesn't mean that we are ahead of the world, that we get data first. Everybody gets the same data. But you know, I explained to him how it works, and he understands it now. So you may even be on the call. No disrespect to you, but we love you, brother. so guys, where the market is now at the moment, I'm gonna show you a probability from the 36 probabilities or combinations that we get. I'm going to show you what will happen with Bitcoin potentially. Can you remember this spike here that we had from this low point here of 8 January 2019? The market, or Bitcoin, basically went upwards and upwards and upwards, and it went right into this point here of $13,000 or $14,000. Guys, it's really important that you understand this, because I see this as a big probability, what I'm going to explain to you next. Now, what happened here is that Bitcoin went up. What happened with the altcoins? I don't know if anybody can tell me what happened with the altcoins when Bitcoin moved upwards.
It
And
dropped.
yeah, Galaxy J16, you're correct. The altcoins didn't move. The altcoins, as a matter of fact, dropped.
Yeah.
Okay?
Dropped.
Yeah, smart people here, guys. Smart people on this call. Listen again. So what he's saying there is, at this point here, when the market went upwards here, the altcoins didn't move. Some altcoins actually dropped. Now, this next move that is coming here in Bitcoin is going to look similar to where my mouse is now. Similar like this move, but a little bit more spread out in time. So let's see if we can capture that and show you quickly what it could potentially look like. So if I go to the bars pattern here and I select that section that I want to the high point, I'm going to use these pink lines and just move that on here. Now, can you see that there is the bottom? The bottom here is that bottom there. So I'm going to pull this out slightly and make it a little bit wider. I just want to show you a potential what we are looking at. If this is the case, we are going to look at something similar like this. Okay, that will go to about 20, and it can drag out a little bit further. So what we are going to see in Bitcoin, in my opinion, is that we are going to see this uptrend here. Just follow my mouse here, there, a downtrend here, an uptrend here, with a bit of a drop here, slightly, and then we're going to follow these blue lines more or less. Take the blue lines and the pink lines into account, and that green arrow. See that? It may look confusing, guys, but I'm showing you the trend. Remember what we do at here at PythonSignals? We trade the trend. If you know what the trend is going to do, you're going to make money. You forget about the daily drops or the 3-day drop. You forget about that, because we know the market is going to go upwards. This is what our data shows. And our trends, if you look at our trend calls are perfect. They're always on spot. But where we fall flat is maybe a day call, or the next 2, 3, or 4 days. Very difficult to quantify what Bitcoin will do in the next day, 2, 3, or 4. But the trend is always correct. And if you go back here, you'll find that most of these trend calls are perfect. What I'm saying here now for you is that we are going to go upwards into this block here, this blue box here, of between 22, let's just take that one out, there's a double, of about $22,400. Okay, so the same trend that we see here is going to happen in Bitcoin. Now let me just draw that quickly with a line. So I see that we do this. Let me just get my algorithm data on my other screen, and I'll show you what I see. So I'm going to draw it, and so let me just take that out. So as a matter of fact, let me just clear the screen a little bit, and then I will be able to show you a little bit better what is going to happen. Now keep in mind that we could still come up here to this red line here and then that blue line there. Those are the two algorithm resistance lines. You won't find it in technical analysis. You won't find it in Fibonacci analysis. If some of you go and you do Fibonacci, you know, you're on the side here where you can do all these different things, cycle lines, time lines, Elliott wave, Fibonacci. You just simply won't find it anywhere that this works out. But it only works out in algorithm analysis. You can't quantify Bitcoin according to Fibonacci, not always. You can do it now and then. Even your Elliott waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the Elliott waves, the one that I'm using here, doesn't always work out 100% in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is completely different. It's always been like that. And this is why guys like, you know, Tony Vase and Tyler Jenks, who came out with hyperwave, that's where they fall flat, because it just doesn't work. You have to work it from an algorithm perspective. An algorithm is nothing different than just a computerized set of rules. It's a mathematical equation. Now, it could be that Bitcoin goes up to this level there, have resistance, and come down. If it comes down, I want you to keep this as a possibility. It's a very low possibility for me. But I believe that Bitcoin has really bottomed at this bottom here. From the data that I see, I don't see Bitcoin going lower. So again, guys, this is the new news. I want to let you know that I believe that Bitcoin has bottomed here, and I don't believe that Bitcoin is going to go lower. But 1%, let's keep it as a 1% probability that Bitcoin could go up here, be stopped at this blue line here, and then come back and retest this red line here on the bottom and potentially go down to this level here of 7661. Now remember, I'm saying a possibility. I've been talking about this drop in Bitcoin from the beginning of the year. I've always said that we have to take into account the negative drop. The negative drop, the minus B. Remember that, guys. I want you to be aware of that. Now, if we drop below this level here, that is where I sell. And many people have asked me, I said, when do I sell? When do I exit Bitcoin? There's your level there. If you drop below that level there, see this green candle there of 9,000? On average now, 9,000. I would get out of the market because then Bitcoin will drop lower. Okay? Now, the data that I'm showing you now, let's take this arrow out. I'm going to draw this for you, and this is the way we see it. It's going to go up. It made this loop here. It's going to come back slightly, but go sideways. We are going to have a break here, and that break is going to be approximately at that point there. The market then is expected then to go sideways downwards. At this point here, this is where we are going to be very careful, because Bitcoin could drop at this point. But I believe that we are going to make a loop upwards, slowly, very, very slowly. And it's going to go upwards here, right down to that point number 3 there. It's going to have a bit of a wobble, like a speed wobble. You know, it's going to form something here, which is kind of like a pennant. And I'll draw that in shortly for you. And then at this point here, it's going to spike upwards. Okay, so we've got that loop. We've got that. It's going to go sideways here, but then a vertical strong move upwards here is going to happen with a bit of a retracement there, and then we are going to break the $20,000 mark right about there. We're going to have a strong downwards move, a big ABC correction. That could be potentially right about there. And then a strong move upwards again into this level here, into 20. So this is how I see Bitcoin as of today with the new data that I have. Now let me explain to you what new data we got. Many financial institutional investors are busy dumping their alternative coins. Yeah, you heard me correct, guys. I was on a call in the last day or two where I overheard institutional investors dumping certain alternative coins. I don't know what coins they are. Just in general terms, they were talking about dumping their altcoins and moving that money into Bitcoin. Now, they will come back and buy the altcoins again, but for the time being, they are moving their money into Bitcoin. Now, remember, I'm not saying move your money into Bitcoin. What I'm saying here is take the data and analyze this data. What you see on your screen here is what I personally see is going to happen with Bitcoin. Now, we are going to find out very, very soon because we don't want this level. And I'm going to mark it here. Let me just make that actually a pink color if we can. Where is maybe, I'll make it that color. Okay, so this line here, that pink line, we don't want to break that pink line. But what you see on your screen here with this dark purple line, that is what we see. Now, if I am correct with what we have analyzed here, we are going to see here, we are going to see a bullish pennant, but that's too far away. We don't need to worry about that. We are going to see a bullish pennant where the market goes up, it comes down, up. And let me just maybe zoom in there. I'm going to show you what we see, because the same what's going to happen here is the same what we see is going to happen here. Let me just draw that in. Now, a bullish pennant is something where the market goes up, down, 3, 4, and you have your fifth, which is your breakout leg. Okay. Many analysts in the world actually do it like this. They say that is your first leg down, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then you have your breakout. Regardless of what they do or how they do it, I don't care how people do it. The point is, guys, look at this. The momentum is upwards. Now, again, the change that I see is that I do not see Bitcoin dropping below this level here, that level there of B. I don't see that happening. But we are going to keep it as a possibility. This is how I see it. Now, let's quickly get into a coin like, for example, Ethereum. These are alternative coins. Now, first of all, look at the date here. 15 August, 10 September. Where does that date come from? Let me show you. This date is the algorithm analysis. We've been following the 53-day algorithm cycle. And guys, please keep it private, because now suddenly people are starting to talk on social media and YouTube about the 53-day algorithm cycle. We want to keep this data for our members only. We don't want this data to come out. Now, that 53-day cycle ends here on 9 September. And then on 10 September, we must have some sort of a spike. Okay. Now, keep in mind that the date can always move on. It could be that we have maybe this drop here. Okay, keep that in mind, that we could have a drop here and that the market spikes upwards into 22,000 after 10 September. It could also be that this actually moves onwards, where this is a lot faster. Okay, so remember this, anywhere in between this timeline of 15 August and 10 September, 15 August and 10 September is a very good date for us, where we're going to see significant gains in cryptos, some cryptos, but more likely Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. There's no way that I can put a date here, because market contracts or expands. It's really crazy what is happening, and it's got to do with manipulation, where certain institutions want to get Bitcoin at cheap prices. So what they do, they would drop or sell certain Bitcoin every 5 minutes. Like, for example, 5 Bitcoin every every 30 seconds. They would sell it at lower than what it is in the market. So for example, if the market now is 9.8, they would go and sell it at 9.7, and they would keep pushing the price down and see if they can break the market structure. What happens then is that you lose a day, and tomorrow they do it again, and you lose another day, and suddenly you lose a week where markets go sideways. And this is what you are seeing here. You know, the sideways action, sideways action, sideways action. And then eventually markets break out. So I can explain this a little bit more in detail, but it's got to do with our algorithm analysis, where we get like this breakout here. It's not really a break, it's a moderate move upwards. It consolidates, it breaks up again, consolidates, and then we have a jump, a spring, a strong price action. Now, since we've got these two dates here, 15 August on the bottom, 10 September here on the bottom, let's go to Ethereum. Now, I've got it here on the bottom, 15 August, 10 September. Now, this is where, remember I was talking about the disbelief in the chart. Remember there, disbelief. Let's just make that larger, everybody can see. I was talking about this area here, that we are now in that area. I believe that Bitcoin is going to break upwards and not come back, but Ethereum is going to drop. Now, remember I said a few weeks ago, no coin at the moment of the top coins now, they're not following the same pattern. I now have to do an analysis on Bitcoin, analysis on Ethereum, then on Litecoin, then on Bitcoin Cash. All coins are different. Now quickly have a look at what I see in Ethereum here. And this is how I am going to trade Ethereum. Ethereum basically, if you look at this date line here, let's just see if we can actually copy this line over. See if that is possible to copy that into Ethereum, and then we can have a, there we go, more or less. This is the play of Ethereum. That's a fantastic view. Okay, now look at what's going to happen, in my opinion now, from the data that I look at. You know, I believe that we are going to have, sorry, let me just get my data up here. Okay, I believe that we are going to see an uptrend here. See these lines here, that brown line, the orange line, and then the green line. See those three lines there. I believe that Ethereum is going to break through those resistance levels, and it's going to potentially land more or less here. You can actually bring that box maybe slightly down. I believe that it's going to be down. Bring that figure down to about 300, possibly about 290, somewhere there. So, and this is now with the new data that we are seeing. This is why it's important, guys, that we be on these weekly calls. I tell you what, if you're serious about making money, you need to be on the calls. Markets change rapidly. If I do a report, a 7-day report is old news, completely old news, because there are so many variables in the crypto market. It's not like last year. Last year I could do a report. You could use that report for 2 weeks. Now, guys, you can use that report for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. It's crazy what's happening. You must get the new data. And we've been talking about this last year, where we said when we get into 2019, the variables are showing completely and utterly different. And this is why I've always said, guys, from the beginning of the year, you have 2 years to make insane money. Because what is going to happen in 18 months left? What's going to happen after 18 months is going to be crazy. All coins are going to do strange things. And this is one of the reasons why some altcoins won't exist. They simply just won't, because it's going to be like the world stock markets. They'll become like little coins that people are not interested in trading. And then people will flock to the top 5 coins, the top 10, the top 20, the top 40. We don't know yet what those top 40 coins will be, but think for yourself, guys, it's going to be number 1, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. You know, it's a no-brainer. The coins that are well known, they will be leading. Okay, anyway, so With Ethereum, what I see is that we are going to have an uptrend into this level here. But then there's a divergence that happens. Instead of Ethereum going the same path as Bitcoin here, Ethereum actually goes downwards. And I'm going to draw that the way that I see it for you so that we can have a nice visual view here. Let me just get that. So Ethereum made this low point here. Ethereum is up, it comes down, it then breaks up into this level here like a vertical spike. I don't exactly know how high, but I'm going to suggest around about $300. And then what happens is it goes sideways for a while. Yeah, the same as Bitcoin, it goes sideways. But then when Bitcoin starts moving upwards, Ethereum crosses downwards and it does this kind of thing. And I don't know what the low point of Ethereum is going to be if this happens, but there's a bit of a spike downwards before then comes back up. And then the market goes this way, this way, this way, something like that. Ethereum is the first coin that breaks out with 1,000%. Remember what I say, you guys, the first coin. And it simply then goes up. This 1,000% rise that you see here starts here, somewhere here, wherever that is. Now remember, it can move on. It can be here. It can, this block here, wherever that low point is. Let me just make Ethereum dark green maybe. Let's make that, okay, there we go. So the green is Ethereum. You just take okay, let's just make that light blue. So anyway, this is why you can see these arrows where I show the arrows. It goes up, it goes down, and then we have a vertical spike upwards in Ethereum. So I want to show you these two probabilities. Tertius, is that more or less explanatory, or is there any questions on this?
I think that's it's very interesting, Marius, because we've been speaking about this divergence for a while. And also interesting, I was discussing with somebody during the week saying how it differs from last year. Last year, even though we're talking with a lot of certainty and we know the moves are coming, sometimes the market surprises us and continues going down or sideways and down before it starts going up again. So yeah, very interesting to see how the new information is coming through. And as you mentioned, the information of 7 and 14 days ago is old information. So if we're looking at Ethereum, we're probably going to be in Ethereum until Bitcoin starts. When we see that divergence happening, that's almost the time for us then to get out of Ethereum. Would that be a correct assumption, Marius?
Yeah, look, there are two ways, Tertius, how I want to play the market. Remember in the latest blog post, I gave 3 options. And I said, no, the number 1 option that you can do, simply hold. Okay, don't sell anything and just simply hold. Because look at this now, guys. We know that Ethereum is going to go down, but then at one point, we don't know when that point is. That point is going to come out of nowhere. And for us personally, I tell you, we've got world-renowned software. We can't pinpoint that date. But we know that there's a downturn and then a spike upwards. It can happen anytime. It can happen in this week. It can happen next week. And if I say in this week, it can happen like this now. See where we have a downturn and bang. It could also be that this is the downturn there and that we break out upwards. So that gives people a bit of confusion because we don't know 100% what is going to happen. In that case, you simply hold. You don't sell. The second option is that when you get, if we see that Ethereum hits this block here of around about 250, 260, 290, What you do, you sell 10, 20, or 30% of your Ethereum and you leave it in cash. Because if the market comes down to this low point here, you take that cash and you wrap it up and you buy, you'll increase your Ethereum with a whole bunch of extra Ethereum, depending on how much money you use. The third option is that you don't do anything, you simply hold, but you use new cash, new money. Don't go and borrow money, guys. Never borrow money. But if you have got new cash that you have on the side, 500, 1,000, 10,000, you simply wait and you buy on the bottom here. If you play those three strategies, you'll win. The last thing that I want you to do is to come here right at this top and sell everything. And you think that you're going to be so smart and you're going to outmaneuver cryptos. You won't. You will lose. I don't do it either. I'm not going to sell everything there, because what if the market turns around and suddenly goes back up? Because remember this, guys, any whale or any bank, any financial institution, any millionaire, any billionaire can come at this point and decide that he's going to put 10, 20, 50, 100 million into Ethereum. And that changes my analysis completely.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, yeah, go ahead, Tertius.
The other thing that I was thinking of, if we're going to be selling, say, 20 or 30% of our Ethereum, we could sell back into Bitcoin, so as to take advantage of the uptrend in Bitcoin at that time, and possibly buy back. But I agree with you. I wouldn't be selling out completely, just in case the market doesn't do what we expect it to do.
I love you, Tertius. You're so smart. That's exactly it, guys. Listen to what Tertius said. If you get to that point there, you may want to sell 10, 20, or 30% of your Ethereum, not into cash or USDT, but back into Bitcoin. Because then what happens is Bitcoin at that point will show us what it's going to do. Now remember, when we see that cross is very important. And I can come here and next week and show you where we are, and we'll look at that. I can also provide a blog post and tell you that the cross has happened. We see Ethereum going down, we see Bitcoin going up. What you do, you convert back into Bitcoin. Right there at that top, which will be about $20,000. We're seeing a big drop in Bitcoin. But look what happens with altcoins.
Ethereum.
Altcoins start outperforming Bitcoin.
I must be honest, Maurice, it was in the back of my mind, but a couple of folks on the chat box, Yaku and Marco, and a couple of guys have been saying, well, shouldn't we do this? Shouldn't we sell through to BTC? So we've definitely got some sharp pencils in the packet on the webinar this evening. So it's definitely not just me thinking this way. And that's fantastic to see that with the education and training that we're getting from you, people are starting to think. And I know it's taken me a long time to change my mindset from trading a coin to BTC to having a look at the picture with USD as the base currency. So yeah, it depends on how people are trading as well, and how the insights they are. Because if you look at the graph of BTC to, for example, Ethereum, it'll look completely different to what we're seeing now.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, remember this. I'm saying this again. Last year, I could show you Bitcoin, only a Bitcoin chart, and the entire market would follow that same pattern. Now it's not the case. And I know there's a guy who wrote me this email, and thank you for your email. We take criticism as well. But this guy says that, Marius, you keep on changing your stance. Now you say the market's going to go up, and now you say it's going to go down. But guys, we can't, as like I said, every 2 or 3 or 4 days, there's a substantial change in the market. The one thing that we cannot account for is manipulation. It's kind of like saying that we have 242 members online here, and one of us are going to rob a bank. I don't know. I don't know who it is. Nobody knows. So, and I'm calling it robbing a bank because this is what manipulation is about. It's kind of like robbing the bank. So sophisticated. So these guys would come in, they would plan it properly. Millionaires that have got 10, 20, 50 million. With 50 million, you can manipulate the market very easy. So what they would do, they would simply go at any given time. They don't know anything about algorithms. They don't know where the market is. They don't care. But they would just decide on Sunday afternoon, 12 o'clock, we're going to start selling. And they sell and sell and sell and sell and sell. Now people get nervous and other people start selling as well because they see Ethereum drop. And when it's low at that point, now remember this, they spend $2 million, only 2 million, you can manipulate the market, or 20 million, whatever they want. Let's say they spend 2 million, they drop Ethereum now from 300 to 250. Now they use 50 million to buy Ethereum up again. Now they make 20% on 50 million, where they buy back at lower prices. Guess how much profit they now made? 10 million. This is how these guys work, guys. Our algorithm cannot see all these kind of things. We can't see it. We can see when it happens. Then we can come and warn you and say, listen, this is happening right now. Be careful for this. However, what I can tell you this, guys, is the trend. The trend is something that we can see happening over the next week, 2, 3. I can see that Bitcoin is going to 19,000. It's going to touch, I tell you guys now, it's going to touch 19,666. I don't know why that number, but that number comes up in our algorithm. It's the weirdest number. Then at that point, it drops. And then it goes back up to $22,000. Now this drop is something that we just realized now. Just showed in our algorithm about a day or 2 days ago, this big drop. We're going to get out on 19,666. We're going to buy back at a lower number, Bitcoin. If you want to be in Bitcoin, I wouldn't even be in Bitcoin at that time, guys, because when this 1,000% rise happens, you are going to be stunned what's happening. And remember, I'm probably the only person in the world, I have never seen anybody else coming up with this 1,000% rise. And we've been saying this now from 2 or 3 months ago. There are now people coming out and they also say, oh, this coin will rise 1,000%, this one 2,000. But we were first in the world, our algorithm data picked this up. What is coming up here, what is coming is a big, big, big spike in those 5 coins that I mentioned to you. Not only those 5 coins. Have a look at the top 40 crypto report. There are certain coins in that report which I already mentioned and said, sorry, that these will rise 1,000%. Let me just drink some water here. Okay, now most people are probably keen to move on to Litecoin. Now, Litecoin is a different beast, okay? Now, let's go to Litecoin. And the same with Litecoin. I'm going to put the, let's see if we can put that, yeah, there we go. Okay, so we can put the pattern in for Bitcoin. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Now let's have a look again at the 15 August, and we're going to move this on. Okay, let's leave the 18 August there. Let's just put another one in here at 10 September. Okay, so we've got 10 September there, and we have 15 August there. This is what's going to happen with Litecoin. Now remember this, Litecoin. For some reason in the charts, there's even an angel that's going to appear in the chart. And guys, I'm going to show you this angel, crazy stuff. That angel, you heard it here first, crazy stuff. And guys, don't be offended because I'm mentioning an angel. You know, it's all about fun. The angel is going to appear there. And this angel is going to look, let me see if I can quickly draw that for you.
You're on Bitcoin or Litecoin now, Maurice?
No, I'm on Bitcoin. So yeah. the angel will appear in Bitcoin. It won't appear anywhere else. The angel is only going to appear. Now remember last year when you guys followed me, we showed you the angel. And I said last year that the angel will appear once more. And when the angel appears, it's lift off in cryptos like crazy. And guys, I'm not mad, okay? But it's just interesting, you know, when I look at these charts, there's like these little sequences that come in that show me. Now, what happens here is the angel, this is the leg of the angel, the foot, and then it goes up into a head. That is the head of the angel, and then it's got a wing on this side that comes down like that. You have to be a little bit. I can draw it a little bit better for you, but imagine that being the head of the angel, like the face. This is the feet of the angel here on the bottom, and then it's got a wing on that side, and then another wing that comes way down lower, kind of like uh, protecting the charts. Okay, but when we get there, I'm going to show you, and you will see that play out. You're going to be amazed. But anyway, it's just interesting.
You're sure that you're drinking coffee?
Yes, Martin, let me look. Yeah, I smell it. Yeah,
It's police coffee. Marius, bietjie polisie koffie vir jou.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder where I may find the report, but I'll at the end of this video, I'm going to find the old report we did last year, and I'm going to show you where the angel is. Okay, so let's just quickly do Litecoin, because that's really interesting, guys. Now, the same as what you see the angel, the same is going to happen in Litecoin. It's called a heartbeat. A heartbeat. Guys, this is crazy stuff. If this happens, I will be so amazed. Now, what happens here with Litecoin? And Martin, you're going to see now what I mean here. Okay, so let me draw this. Okay, we've got that pattern in now. Where's that brush? Okay, I'm going to show you what I see in Litecoin. I see this. We've gone up here. We've got this bit of a drop. Now, what's going to happen is here, we go sideways. It goes sideways like this. And then suddenly, I don't know when it is, but we have a bit of a spike breaking into this level here, a big spike, and everybody's going to think this is it. Litecoin is going to break out, and then Litecoin is going to drop, just like that. And then it comes again like this. It goes sideways, 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 and somewhere here, and again, guys, I don't know exactly where it is. It could be a little bit further, but we have a drop. It's like this. It drops to 60, 63, 65, maybe 50. I don't know. But let's assume that it drops right down to this level here of that red line. And then what happens is it shoots up again. It does something like this. And then suddenly it breaks out upwards into maybe that level there. And it comes gradually down again. Something like this. Again to that level there. And it goes sideways. Something like this. And then suddenly, somewhere here, somewhere, I don't know exactly when, guys, Litecoin spikes up again, touches that red line again, that comes back up. This happens in about a day or two, and it makes this big spike. And guess what? It goes vertical in one day. You will see that happen. And now look at this area here where my mouse is now. See this, let me just draw that with an arrow. And sorry for the confusing chart here, there's a lot of data here. But look at this, down, up. See that heartbeat? The heartbeat that you see when somebody is in a hospital. Once we see that big drop, it goes back up and it drops again. Now look at what I'm showing you here for you on the screen here. Let me just look at this. See the sideways action of Litecoin the whole time till here. Keep that in mind. Sideways, a drop, upwards. It breaks above that blue channel. It comes back in the blue channel, goes sideways, and bang, you have this 100. You've got this 1,000% rise, and Litecoin will never ever come back. Litecoin keeps going and going and going, and you guys have seen. And remember, I'm saying 1,000%. Guys, I'm conservative. I'll tell you where. When the spike happens, then I'll tell you where it's going to end. But guys, it's crazy stuff. It goes up. It literally goes up like this. It staggers for a few days where people say this can't be, and people don't buy. They don't buy Litecoin. They sell Litecoin. Crazy stuff. But we at PythonSignals, we are going to buy the spike. Remember I said never ever buy the spike? At this point, I'm going to tell you to buy the spike. Buy, 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 keep on buying, keep on buying, keep on buying. And it's going to go up to astronomical numbers. I don't want to tell you what number it is. Otherwise, Martin will ask me again, what are you drinking?
Yeah. Morris, so we still, in the short term, we're still expecting it to go up to around about $120 before it comes down to the 70, 60 mark. That's still on the cards?
Exactly, Tertius. Where my mouse is now, the maximum it can go. And remember, I want to work on the maximum. The maximum is that 120, in my opinion. It can go maybe $1 or $2 over that. But see this green line here? That green line is kind of like the resistance. It's going to break through. It's going to touch that breakthrough slightly into this red line and then drop and then come back. But sorry, Tertius. Now I'm talking about this. Let me just see where I'm now. This is the drop. Yes, that is correct. So we may see this figure here between 110, 120. But then this spike upwards here could be about 135. It actually gets stopped. See by this, let me just mark that. See this little twin tower there? It's going to do probably about 4 of those, one about over 4 days. So we're looking for that to repeat at that same level. And that level there is about 135, 130. And remember, we've been talking about the 135 resistance level for months. So it could stop there. Don't hold me to these prices, guys. Like, you know, there's so many people, you know, that says, oh, you said Litecoin is going to go to 135. It only hit 130. I'm canceling my membership. Yeah, guys, come on, you know. I mean, you won't find this data anywhere in the world. And you won't find anybody in the world that will tell you exactly where Bitcoin or cryptos or any altcoin can go. When they do, they make educated guesses. I base my data on an algorithm, and I want you to think long term. Don't think short term. You know, the world has now changed into everybody wants everything today. When a new iPhone comes out, everybody must have the phone, and they want it now. You know, there's a case here in Australia, here in Brisbane, where they promoted these just in this week, where they promoted these new phones that you get, which is the watch, the iWatch. This specific company ran out of these iWatches. And it was on national TV in this week where this one lady threw a tantrum. She wanted the watch today. I mean, and she threw a tantrum, and they showed this lady, you know, she's rolling around on the floor, stomping her feet. I mean, this is how society has become. We want things now. I tell you guys now, be patient. You're going to make insane money. You know, yeah, go ahead, Tertius.
Joe was just reminding me we had a question earlier on as well about Litecoin, and I said we'll ask it when we get here. The halving of Litecoin is coming up, and generally, you know, things like that are already priced into the market. And then I saw Charlie Lee was saying that many of the miners will probably be switching off their machines after the halving, and that, you know, do you expect that would have an effect on the price, or is that almost irrelevant? It's part of what's going to happen, so the market already has taken that into consideration. Your opinion on the halving?
Yeah, Tertius, the halving is not going to have any influence on Litecoin. It's already priced in. And it may even be that this heartbeat could be that halving at that point. We just don't know. But in our data, it shows that the halving is already priced in. Guys, we as a human race, you have to remember, we don't leave things. If we know something's going to happen in the future, people buy now and they run the price up now, given the fact that in the future this is going to happen. Nobody waits for the halving. So the price, the halving price, is already priced in. When I came out in the beginning of the year, remember, we were the first people in the world that said that Litecoin is going to go to 189. Remember that very clearly, and I actually came out, and Martin, just to cover myself there, remember I said that I don't know, I may be drunk here, but I said that 189, it's going to go to 189. And you can go back to those videos, and our timeline was a little bit off. We are going to hit 189 just a little bit lower, or later. Now, at that point there, we knew about the halving, and we realized that the halving for Litecoin was built into the price, into our analysis already. Now, in my opinion, we should have actually already been at 189 for Litecoin, but the price suppression in Litecoin is unbelievable. Tarsis, I'm just going to quickly look for that angel that we identified last year, and then I'll bring that up. If there's any other questions, we can quickly answer that as well.
I think no other questions on Litecoin. I think many people are just wanted to know, are we still expecting it to go up to the, you were saying, $110 to $120 levels before it came down? And yes, that's still on the cards. Other than that, let me just have a look. I don't think any other questions on Litecoin, Morris. And thanks to the guys that, thanks for participating in the chat box. I see, people are answering questions as they come along. Appreciate that, guys, because obviously it's not possible for Morris to cover everything. And I know he's probably going to still go on to Bitcoin Cash and EOS and a couple of the others. Yeah, so there's a couple of guys saying Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Neo, those are still coming, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You will get into that very, very shortly. Anyway, I can't find it now.
I see we've got almost 240 people on the call tonight. So welcome to a lot of the new folks. I see a lot of new names. Guys, make sure that you go through at least 1 month of reports and the blog updates so that you get an idea of the flow of information that is coming from Morris, and educate yourself. I mean, this whole PythonSignals is built on the basis of training and education so that we learn to read the graphs. And Morris is guiding us. I can't tell you guys how valuable this information is after having tried to do it on my own and tried to do the analysis on my own. And I know that a lot of folks have given me this feedback that the insights that Morris gives us and the training that he gives us in order to be able to understand the charts, in addition to what the algorithm is showing, this is just giving us more confidence to be able to be patient. So yeah, thanks guys. Couple of guys, a lot of questions coming through now. Did you bite? Somebody was asking the Ethereum chart. Can you show that again, guys? It'll be available on the recording, and the recording is normally out within the next 24 hours. So 100%. Question: do we hold funds in different coins for now, or do we switch to BTC first, sell at the spike? Guys, difficult to answer a question like that. Because it'll depend on your trading strategy. If you're trading only 1 or 2 coins, it'll be different from somebody trading 5 or 6. I answered somebody privately just now saying, at the moment I'm spread out mostly in altcoins. I won't be selling my alts to get into Bitcoin at the moment. If I've got some new funds that may go into Bitcoin for now. So it all depends on your own strategy. We can't give financial advice on the call, but something like that, again, never have all your eggs in one basket. It's very risky to do that.
Yeah,
People asking about
that is true.
XRP and the spike.
Yeah,
Sorry,
okay, we'll quickly get into that. Yeah, guys, in 17 February of 2018, we this is our reports used to look at that time. We showed the angel. This is the chart. Now, remember that time we did our analysis. This contains the formula for our analysis that we use. But regardless of that, I hope nobody can figure that out. But anyway, the angel looks something similar like this. Now, we are exactly in this pattern here. Remember, we are here on the bottom. We're going to see Bitcoin go up. It's going to go sideways. Remember what I showed you here? And these are the value intervals, which is difficult to explain now. But this then goes up. Remember where I said it breaks out, it goes up, and then it breaks out again, and then we have that last move here. This move here is 19666. And this was when Bitcoin was at 12,000. Now, yeah, guys, we predicted this perfectly. Nobody else in the world could do it. We predicted every single high point. See those dots there? High point, low point, high point, low point. And Tertius, this is maybe a good indicator to show to our members as well. We can't do that anymore, guys. The market is manipulated. People went crazy last year when we said that we're going to hit that level there of 10,400. Then we're going to head into that level there of 12.4, and then we have a drop. But guys, we can't do it anymore. It doesn't work. There's too much manipulation and too many variables in there. Now, the angel that you are going to see is when we hit 20,000 there, we're going to have this big drop. That drop is going to be a little bit lower. Now, when you go up here, we're going to break the $22,000 level. And remember, this is private data, guys. Don't share this with anybody. So we're going to have a top there. On that top, I'm going to get you out. And this is when the angel appears. That angel drops here. That's the head of the angel. There's the tail or the legs. And there's that wing where we drop down to that level there. And then we spike upwards there. We've got a chart that goes onwards there. But this is the angel, Tertius, that I'm referring to. You're going to see that. When we see that, bang, I tell you it's over, guys. You're going to make so much money. And that happens here after about 19666 there, a bit of a drop, a spike up. It's not going to happen into these value levels here. Those are my algorithm value levels. It's going to happen a little bit faster than what I just explained. But nonetheless, guys, this gives you an idea of how we do our algorithm analysis and the formulas we use. And as I say, I may just cut this out. I don't want people actually to get this data of how we work the formulas out. But anyway, let's move quickly on to Bitcoin Cash. Now, Bitcoin Cash is most probably going to follow the same path as Ethereum. Remember previously I said that Bitcoin Cash follows the same path as Bitcoin. But I believe that Bitcoin Cash is going to follow the same path as Ethereum. So I'm not going to do Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so, but do expect that we could potentially go down to 186 in Bitcoin Cash. If I put the chart on here for Bitcoin, and let's just see if we can take the chart of Ethereum. I'm going to put that here and something similar like this. Okay, so it could be something similar like this. And remember, these dates here are just more or less. But from this point onwards, now the other thing that you just need to understand is that that Bitcoin Cash doesn't spike like Ethereum. Remember I said that that Ethereum spikes first and it starts here, but Bitcoin Cash is a little bit later when it starts spiking upwards, a little bit later. So I'm just going to draw a band here and say that in this band here, somewhere here, we are going to expect some sort of a downturn, more or less here. We do expect a bit of upside here, but somewhere there. But I think you get the pattern, guys. Work on the pattern. We are going to go upwards now, maybe breaking this line here of 385, and then following the same pattern as Ethereum. EOS is one of the coins that you can simply hold. What happened with EOS is we had this perfect or near perfect head and shoulders. It came down all the way there to that point there. And if you take the distance basically from the head right down to there and you duplicate that, this is where we get this from. You know, that normally then shows you the low point. So that is the low point for EOS. I do not believe that EOS is going to go much lower than this. But let's be aware of the fact that when other cryptos drop like this, that we could see another low point, maybe there, and then an uptrend. Keep this in mind. Now, remember, guys, when I'm talking here about Ethereum, that Ethereum can potentially go down. Remember, it's a probability. We're going to come to this point, and before this drop, we will know what the market is going to do. And I'll come back and post a new post, you know, a blog post, or we'll do a live webinar before that happens. I believe we've got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. In the next 4 weeks, a lot of information that's going to come in 4 weeks, where Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. There's going to be new data. We're going to figure this out long before it happens. So we'll get there. But just for now, and remember, I never ever give a long-term view like this. But I want you to have this long-term view. You know, I could have just come back here and say and give you a view for the next week and give you that. Now remember, the long-term view can change. And this is one of the reasons I never give it. But I believe that most people here in PythonSignals are a little bit more educated now, grown up in cryptos, and we can take and handle the future price of Bitcoin and cryptos. Okay, we've got 15 minutes. Let's quickly get into NEO. NEO is one of those coins that you can simply hold. Don't worry about any drop in NEO. Guys, when this thing moves, it's going to move fast, and we see $850 in NEO long term. Immediate now, we are looking for this 36% gain. Now, the thing is this, even if you bought here at $20, simply hold. Just don't sell. Because when the market moves, see these big moves here, like that big spike there, it can do that at any time. But keep in mind that we could also have a bit of more downside. Another way to look at this is if you use the parallel channel and you just do it like this. Let me just do that. One way of looking at it is to say that this is your leg 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep this in mind. So I'm just going to draw this for you. This could happen in any crypto, if we are correct. So this could easily be from that point, that's your leg A, B. This could go up there when everything else moves now, C. That could go down to that level there, believe it or not, $5. That could happen. Or it could just drop here, maybe a little bit lower, and then break out. So keep that in mind, that there is a probability of downside here. But if you bought at 20,000, and remember this, guys, we did say the 15 October line, which is that line there, the 15 October, see this point here, 15 October 2018 high point. In our previous crypto report, we said when we hit this level here, you need to sell. And if you did sell and not buy, you shouldn't buy at that, you know, just go back to the report. We said sold. But I came back and I bought, when it just dropped below this pink line, I can't remember, I bought at 3 or 4 different stages now. So I've bought, I sold on the top and I bought, you know, NEO back. So hold a few NEO. I don't mind if this thing drops here to $5 because I know the long-term trend is way upwards. And, but I'll just buy more. That's why I say always keep a little bit of cash on the side. If it does drop to this level here, that will be back to this level here of 15 December 2018. But nonetheless, we see higher targets on it. If you look at the top 40 crypto report, a lot of altcoins have been annihilated. I believe there's a little bit more blood to come. And this is what I'm showing you guys here in Ethereum. If Ethereum is going to make that drop, remember this, that altcoins are going to drop as well. Now, this low point here was at 189. We may see 160, even as low as 119. We can't quantify where that low point is, but you need to keep your money, you need to have some cash there ready to buy if we drop. Guys, any other questions here? Let's quickly get into XRP as well. Now, XRP is, let me just quickly get into this. We showed XRP last week, and we said that we expect this drop to come down, another uptrend somewhere there. We can probably extend that a little bit. If Bitcoin now moves, it's going to go up. But I believe that XRP must have, it must have one more low to about this point there. Not lower than that point, but just one more low. Once we see that, we are going to see a vertical spike upwards. Now, first of all, this spike happens like this. It goes up like this to a certain point, and then it breaks down completely. Okay, we are going to buy at that point there. You can actually buy now anywhere in this level. If you want to buy and hold, just buy and hold and don't worry. There's a big spike coming. Same with Digibyte. Again, Digibyte, we've never changed our stance on Digibyte here. I do expect that Digibyte can come down to this level here of 0.008, somewhere in this level, drop there, and then spike. Now, the coin that spikes the first for the 1000% spike is Ethereum. If Ethereum starts moving, expect days later is going to be Litecoin, XRP, Digibyte in that sequence. Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Digibyte. Bang, and we're gone. So it's a question of time. It could be 3 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere in that region, but that is the timeline that we look at. If we can quickly get into OMG, OMG is still a good buy. Even at these levels here, guys, it's crazy low levels. The pricing is so good. All cryptos are actually good buys, but be prepared. There may be one lower low. Whatever you hold at the moment, don't be concerned. Simply just keep it. BNB, strong coin. I do expect that we could go upwards. We may have a bit of a drop again. And it's still in a broadening wedge. The broadening wedge will take this to 500%. Now remember this, I bought, I can't remember, I think I bought at this level here. I just accumulate more as we drop. So I bought at that level as well. So you can see if I bought at that level, I'm still not in profit there. But I know where the market is going to go. Sometimes you never ever know where the total low is. The same with Bitcoin here, guys. We don't know 100% where the low point will be. But I can tell you from an algorithm perspective, the trend is upwards into this level here. It's kind of like you get 4 humps here. One, that's your one. That's your second spike. That's your third spike. And that's your fourth spike. That's where the angel is. Let me just clear that. So guys, there's about 13 minutes left, or 10 minutes rather. If there's any other questions, let's quickly go through it.
Morris, just something that a message somebody sent me. So for the folks who are following the long-term or the longer-term buy and hold strategy, looking at the 10 coins or the combination, I'm not sure what we call it, buy and hold portfolio, we should be watching very carefully if we don't have things like Digibyte and Ripple yet, EOS, Neo. Now is a good time to stock up on those for our long-term hold portfolio. Would that be a correct assumption?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The guy's asking about Bitcoin Cash. It's been dealt with. Can just check out the video. Same pattern as Ethereum. Okay. There's a way to buy Bitcoin on a local exchange. Get hold of the person who brought you in and ask them for assistance. I think those are all the questions. You've dealt with the questions on. There's some questions on IOTA and Wax.
Yeah, guys, let me just quickly bring this up as well. No, it's not that. Remember in the top 40 crypto report, let me just quickly show people here where to get it. Now remember, IOTA, Wax, and all those coins are on the top 40 crypto report. So I'm just going to log into the PythonSignals website. And remember, guys, this presentation is for PythonSignals. If you are on this presentation from a different part of the world and from a different application, you may get a little bit confused with the back office, because we've got a back office in Russia, in China, Taiwan, and all back offices look a little bit different. This is the PythonSignals website. Let me just get into, I think, is it okay if I just use your login, Wendy?
Just a question on where the Dow Jones, I know sometimes you refer to the Dow Jones graphs as well as gold and silver. I think about probably once a month you go back to those. Any influence from that side, Maurice?
Not yet, but the Dow Jones is now in an upwards trend. And remember, guys, we've said a few months ago that it's going to go up. I know everybody in the world is calling for a big market crash to come in the Dow Jones. It won't happen. Our data shows it goes up. As a matter of fact, we hit 40,000 Dow. Keep that in mind, about 38, on average 40. So it's going to go upwards. Even one of the main factors here is the president of the USA. He's running to win it again, and he will make sure that the Dow Jones goes up. It won't drop. If there's a drop, it will be short term. So just keep that in mind. Let me just quickly show you guys, when you go here to, Wendy, I can't remember, I think it's downloads, and you click on downloads here, just click that menu and it will bring you up this box. Then what you do, you click on all and you select reports. See there? Select reports. And then the reports will come up, and you will see here that there's your 24 July crypto report. You can simply just click on that and you can download that. There's your 22 July 2019 Bitcoin is a Wizard Part 3 report. There's your 17 July report. So yeah, so these are paper reports. I refer to them as paper reports because some people around the world don't know what PDF is, but it's a PDF report, but we call it a paper report, guys. And it doesn't matter if you don't understand what PDF is, guys, but there's terminology all around the world. That, like some people in China don't know what it is. So, but nonetheless, that's what it is. Now, if you go here to the blog here, the blog post, if you click on that, I'm just going to make this a bit smaller here. You will see that here it is, report number 98. That's your blog post. And you can click on that and you can continue reading that. There's actually a double of 98. I don't know why that happens, but we will fix that. And there's 18 July. Well, that's 98. There's 97. There's 96, 95. And we numbered them, so it's easy for you to see. And if you are confused, you simply just click on Bitcoin or reload your system. And for those people that are all around the world, you can click on that. You can convert into Afrikaans, especially for our friends in Taiwan and China and Korea. You can actually go and change the language here. Most people in Taiwan will be Chinese traditional. So you can change that, or change the back office for you. Yeah. And guys, this is a great way of building your business. I tell you, this is insane. Bring people in, first of all, they will use the reports to trade. They'll come onto this webinars, all included in your subscription. And then, if you want, you can build a business by just simply introducing more people. We pay out a huge amount of money of the subscription base, over 80%, 85 or something like that. I don't want to make money out of this. I want you to make money from this. That's our goal. We set this up so people can make money. Okay, let's go. Okay, so now that you guys understand that, so again, go here to downloads, downloads there. And in this document here, where it says all, you simply go to reports. Okay, so that's where you click. Click on the reports, it'll bring up all the reports and you simply download them. Then you've got a paper copy with you. Okay, awesome.
Maurice, while you're there, under all, I think there's a place that we, before we had the blogs, there was an update on video links. Somebody's asking about the older videos. There we go. So see guys, on the bottom there's YouTube video links. You click on that category and it'll bring up that list there. You'll be able to go back and look at the previous video reports.
Yeah, and that'll go back to about 21 March. But remember, all the videos now are in the blog posts. You can simply go back, just go back date by date, and you'll find it all there. This is still the old way before we had these blogs. And and feel free to interact in the blogs, guys. There is, you know, we want people. I can't answer all the messages, but there are very smart people here.
Absolutely.
So if you click on this and you go continue reading, it'll open this for you. I may just load up smaller images there, but this one is the 21st July, and we'll go down, gives you some images. You can go down, and right down here at the bottom, you can actually go and talk about these things, you know. And there are people that ask questions. Okay, there is a lot of people that are interacting, and you can actually go and reply to these messages. Yeah, thank you very much for all these nice comments, guys. It's really great to see. Thank you, grateful, thankful. Man, we've got some really good people in PythonSignals. It's just amazing that we are attracting good people, and that's what I like. There's no nasty people and scam-like people, you know. So thank you for that, guys. Okay, so let's see what happens, and I'll have to jump up on another call. And thank you very much, Tertius. And
yes, thank you very much, Maurice. Appreciate it, guys. Remember that if you do have questions beforehand, you can send them through before the webinar, and Maurice can prepare for those. Send them through to, I think it's admin, but go and check on the back office. Can send them through to Gavin. Gavin will get them through to Maurice ahead of time. So if there's something that you want discussed, please get those questions to us in good time. Maurice, thanks again, and you guys must have an awesome weekend. Thanks, Wendy, also for how we say in Afrikaans, maak die pas, you know, keeping us on time and keeping the rhythm going. So thanks for that, Wendy.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. And that's the end of the webinar. I'll upload this recording very quickly. Thank you.